Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jenny VIP Thought Series. This is just like a little mini-sode series that I've been developing over the past few months. Essentially, I just want to be more in touch and be more transparent and honestly more alignment with all of you who've been listening to the podcast. These little episodes are really meant to give you all just real thought snapshots in the moment. Things that I think, that I'm struggling with or emotions that I'm going through. I want to be able to share them with all of you because I want you to know that we're all going through this. And, if you're having a particularly rough week, like maybe one of these little mini-sodes might resonate with you because we all have them. Life has tons of ups and downs, and I think it's just important to know that you're not in it alone. And this is really what the point of all these are. So you won't hear the same topic over and over again. Most likely it's going to be very different from episode to episode. But I really hope that you find them helpful. And, I would love to hear from you on them. So let's take a listen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another little mini-sode with Jenny. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And if you're not having a wonderful day, I hope you are taking time to reset yourself and take a deep breath. And all it takes is 5 minutes to try to meditate and try to get yourself back on track. I find that I'm doing that more and more frequently. I wanted to talk to everybody about something because I always talk about and focus on us and ourselves and what we need to do to stay on top of things or things that tools for us to pivot and how to be paying attention to yourself and in your own alignment, and which is all incredibly important stuff. The other side of it, the flip side of all those things, is also being mindful of the people around you and their need to pivot or their need to make a change and do something differently. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think we're faced with this a lot. And while it's important to be self-aware, it's also really important to be emotionally intelligent and to be aware of the people around you. Now, the more self-aware you become and the more you use tools like meditation, affirmations, visualization, the more you lean on these tools, the more you are going to start to pay a little bit more attention to those around you, and the more you are going to pick up on some cues. So some of it's going to happen naturally. But I want to point this out because there will be times where people are going to need to pivot, and you do have to be aware and be respectful of those pivots. It's not all about, I want something specific, but if it's not in alignment with what this other person wants, then you have to be okay to let go. What I'm going to use as an example here is the podcast. Now, if you're a new listener to this, when the podcast started in 2023, when the podcast launched, it was in April of 2023, and it was myself and my cousin, and she's still in the picture, still here, but she was all on all the episodes basically in 2023. She was with me for the whole time, for the most part. Majority of them, for the most part, yeah. She was with me through the whole thing. Now, what started to happen is, she's full-time mom. Her daughter's home with her. And then, she also has a full-time job. She does things. She has a job. She's teaching. She's amazing. She does a tremendous amount of work. And the podcast was basically on top of all that. And as much as she loved the podcast, as much as she really wanted to be involved in the podcast, and she would try so hard to really commit to being available for recordings, it just wasn't in her alignment. It wasn't there. It wasn't working. And it's important to be mindful and pay attention and then create a safe space for that. So essentially what ended up happening was, my cousin Melissa just kept giving me, leadway and saying what, just take the guest episodes. We'll do solo recordings together. And that gave me the availability to schedule per my calendar, and then there was different instances where we would pivot together as a team, and she would tell me, you know what, I'm not available for this, but I can do this. And so that was the grace of the moment. And I wanted to highlight this because there's a lot of times where people get upset or offended or feel like someone has bailed out on them. Like in this moment, if I wasn't so aware, I could have definitely gotten mad and said, we launched this together. How could you pull out? And I could have thrown guilt on her and I could have made her feel horrible. But then what would that have done? It would have made the whole setting resentful. And why would you want to even do that to somebody that you're, close with? Or why would you do that period to anybody, even if you're not close with them? Treating people with respect is like incredibly important, like to everybody. So it's a moment of like giving grace to yourself and giving grace to others. And that's really what I want to highlight here is that like, if everyone could just have a certain amount of grace for each other and just give each other that leadway to make these decisions for themselves, like, I mean, the impact that it has and how much stronger it makes your bonds with people is tremendous. I'll use an example from my professional life as well. I work with a lot of vendors and over time and develop relationships with people. And one of them reached out to me and told me, like, it's such a pleasure working with you. You're so kind and you're so wonderful with the clients, and everybody just loves to be with you and a part of whatever you're working on. And he really just sent me without prompting, sent me this lovely note. And I almost cried because it was acknowledgement of how hard I work to make sure people feel respected and valued. And when you let people feel that way, it makes you feel good, but then it does so much to the relationship. It's mind blowing that people don't get this. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you are giving yourself grace, it's important to also give your people around you grace and give them room to live their lives how they need to live their lives. There is no one right way to do anything. We all have to just do what we can to do the best for ourselves and our families and whomever else is important to us. I hope this helped someone out there today. Greatly appreciate you. If you can just take a couple minutes, please, and leave a review. It's incredibly helpful to us for the podcast to help us reach other listeners and expand our reach. So leaving a review would be tremendously helpful. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening to Jenny's little VIP thought episode. I hope you did find it helpful. And again, these are little mini quick hits, so it won't take too much of your day. And I hope that it just brings you some clarity, some peace, maybe some joy in some instances, knowing that, we're sort of all in this together. Check out some of our full episodes, which have guests and my co-host and, lots of great things in them. But I hope that these mini-sodes are helpful to you. Thank you and take care.